Ready?
We're ready.
In 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Lisa Beats Your Meat Whiskey Wednesday episode Corona Part 2.
Yes, we're in the
Cheers.
the 80s. We don't know.
I've already had
Cheers.
2 glasses of whiskey today, so I'm just gonna stick with the wine.
We're not drinking any whiskey. Yeah, it's so.
I already had my glass of whiskey starting at like 4, and it's what, like 8?
4. Mm-hmm. I think it was like 2 or 3, but who's counting?
4. It was 4. I restrained myself. It was a whiskey sour made with chickpea juice.
What?
To make a whiskey sour, you're supposed to have like a froth on top, like foam. And a lot of times whiskey sours use egg whites. And you can use, I think it's aquafaba, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
To make that foamy stuff on top to be a true whiskey sour.
So you took a little juice from like a can of chickpeas?
That's what it is.
It's disgusting.
But you had one. Did you taste chickpea?
I've had one?
Yeah.
That you made?
Yes.
I
put
didn't
in all... It's because it doesn't have a taste, because it's not gross. But anyways, it's delicious. And then we just did a shot of whiskey, because that's what you do during quarantine.
Yeah, we'll talk some coronavirus, but...
You know?
Times are weird. Real weird.
Times are super weird. I want to give a shout out. I'm wearing my New York sweatshirt.
Yes, to New York.
I want to give it because I feel bad.
I do too.
It's really, really bad in New York.
Yeah.
So
I should have kept. Oh, I have a hat on right now. I had my New York hat on earlier.
You can put your hat back on.
It's perfect.
Anyways,
I need a haircut, but
so this is Corona Part 2. We want to talk about Corona myths. Just all the myths on how it started, or how to fix it, or who started it, or why started it, or blah, blah, blah. So we're going to talk about all that. We actually did this podcast once last week.
Oh, yeah, we already did this.
But we were way too wasted. We listened to the next day, and it was gut-wrenching embarrassing.
It was very embarrassing. It was good quality information. We've
Yeah.
added to it because this is changing by the moment, but...
We were so drunk.
I couldn't put it out.
I talked about being liking yoga for 10 minutes, and I talked about it in slow motion.
You're like, it's so, it just,
yeah. And then you tried to interrupt me, and I was like, no, Jimmy, you don't get it. This is it was so bad. But you know what's even worse than that is that I remember at the time saying that, and I remember being like, this is fucking gold.
I'm killing it.
This is great content. So bad.
That was not good. I mean, we drink beers and whiskey while we do this show, but we're usually not that drunk. But I do remember the episode, it had to be in the first 20.
You're just wasted.
Where it was longevity, and I was so proud. I read a whole book. It was about all the longest living cultures. Remember we said Okinawa for 15 episodes after that? 80, we still say it. I was
hammered.
Slurry
Murray.
Yeah, and I couldn't do it over again because it was so researched.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was delivered properly, but I was just slurring and
drunk.
slowly. But I don't know, I got no comments on it. We didn't have as many listeners back then, but...
Yeah, well, here we're drinking.
We're doing it again. We're not doing that old one.
Moderately buzzed, but we're not going to talk about yoga for 10 minutes and how much I love it.
Yeah, and usually these are timeless, but we're living in a time of...
It's time.
It's crazy. It's March 25th, 2020.
We're in the pandemic.
Deep into the corona pandemic.
Wherever you're living right now, you're in a pandemic.
And it's daily.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere, and it's happening fast. So.
And it's crazy, to say the least. So, talked about this before. Jimmy's a school teacher. I don't think he's going to go back to school this year.
Probably not. Oh, real quick for that. If you are just starting, I want to get it out there quickly that we are going to have this on YouTube.
Okay.
So if you'd rather watch this
and see our beautiful mugs
with mediocre audio, it'd be better than the last one if you watch the last one. But we're going to try to put these on YouTube, so you can check that out, follow, subscribe. But if we're more listeners ourselves. I've never watched a podcast in my whole life. I'm a listener. This show's for listeners, not for watchers.
I've listened to 5 podcasts in my life.
You listen to 500. What are you talking about?
And they're on the road. You on the road?
Yeah, and all your when I'm at work stuff. You come home and you know everything about like
I
prescription drugs or something all of a sudden.
That's a book, first of all. It's
an audio book? Oh, okay.
The only other podcast I listen to is the Stuff You Should Know. And
Okay,
it
yeah.
annoys me because I don't think they're interesting. but they have like interesting things to say, so I like barrel through it. Like they make jokes and I'm like, oh my god, guys, this is so dry. And then I'm like, whatever, okay, let's do it. You know?
Wherever you listen to it, Used to Be To Me will always be free. But all we need is support by liking the show.
Right.
So if it's on YouTube, subscribe, leave us a comment.
Yeah.
But
Why don't
more
you talk about your
importantly,
beer?
if it's on iTunes, we need more iTunes interaction. Just a quick 5-star and a quick, hey, good show.
Okay.
That's all we need. Oh, my beer, yes. I am drinking Patios. This is Monkish Brewing we have a lot of California listeners.
We do.
It's amazing. Monkish Brewing, but
We've talked about Jimmy's obsession with
I don't know if we have
beers.
I'm in this beer group. It's top secret. Can't even tell you the name of it.
It's the coolest thing that you've ever been in.
I've never heard anything like it since then, but there are some out there, but they get shut down. This one, for some reason, has been really careful to stay under the radar.
At this point in our society, I would hope whatever law enforcement is shutting this down.
It's Zuckerberg. It's Facebook. So they don't want...
Still, he should have other things to do.
Yes, it's kind of like a...
Donate some masks,
without
bro.
giving too much information out. I'm just
I
kidding.
think you are.
No, I'm not.
It's like a trading
People do
site,
it. Yeah,
right?
they do it with a lot of things. But because it's a beverage, an alcoholic beverage, but it's like an auction site where you can win some beer here and there. But it's more of it's a community. It's a family. It's fun. But anyways, I won some beers from this dude
words to describe
in
it.
California. He doesn't even use his real name. He's Marty McFly.
That's not his
He
real name.
sent me a really cool monkish
I thought
glass.
his real name was Marty.
Nope. I don't even know his real name. He'd probably tell me. He seems like a nice guy.
Interesting.
But he can't use his real Facebook because it gets shut down all the time. People have like fake, their Venmos get shut down too.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so you can't use any terms about money or trading or interacting.
Wait. The site that you put up of me chugging beers, that has like 600 people in it?
More than that.
Oh my god.
Yes. Sometimes I put videos up of Lisa chugging beers.
Complete exploitation, like at its finest.
I don't know, it's 600, maybe like a couple hundred. But anyways, yeah, I'm exploiting Lisa just for...
To try to win free beers.
It doesn't help because it's based on the lottery, but...
So you just exploit me
it's
just
funny.
to exploit me.
No, I exploit myself too. I chug beers on there too.
You don't start with your back turned to the camera, do you?
I did make you kind of start with your butt facing the camera.
It's not.
I like to show you off, and a lot of times people are just like, they don't say much, but then sometimes it sneaks out. Like, I have a super hot wife, so
Okay.
sorry, get used to it. But anyways, it's
Moving on.
it's a really good beer, Monkish Brewing.
So we've been doing a lot of drinking.
Yeah, that's as you all have, I assume.
I don't know what else
you're
people
not,
are doing.
Yeah, you're doing puzzles.
We wake up. We do like we said the last time. We do have somewhat of a regiment. Like I have to do something productive. We wake up, get some work done around this house or on our other like investment property.
Oh yeah, banging out projects.
But like, we're teachers. I'm a teacher in my heart. Like that's what I was. Is come 3:00, like we're done working. You know.
We get up at 6. We're working by 7 or 8, so we're still getting in 6 hours of like
working.
Just house stuff.
Yeah.
It's very fulfilling.
It is fulfilling. I love not working. I love the pandemic. Anyways, but becomes 3:00, and the different part is that it used to be come 3:00, you were home from work. You would have like a couple hours of other work to do.
Yeah,
you know?
you'd start those home projects.
So night would fall, or chillin' time would fall around like 5 or 6. But now it's chillin' times 2 or 3.
Yeah,
I don't know what this is gonna do to my liver.
It's a long ride to 7 or 8 when the kids go to bed.
It is. But we've been drinking a lot.
We're exercising though. We're running. We're eating like incredibly well. I feel like I'm healthier than I've ever been.
I do too. That's what I was going to get to. Is that we've been eating very well. So I went to the grocery store in the madness, and it was fucking scary.
With a mask on, right?
A mask and gloves, and the only other lady that had a mask and gloves on was like right next to me in line, and we gave like a "What's up?" I was like, I actually pointed at our gloves because I saw a couple of their masks, but I was like, the gloves, man, you gotta have the gloves.
Well, I was judging people for a minute, like, why doesn't anyone have a mask on? And then I forgot, like, wait, there aren't a lot of masks.
Yeah,
and
you're like, because I bought them all.
Yeah, I
no, you didn't.
Yeah, but I literally so sorry to interrupt you.
No.
Back in January, been working in this attic. Probably mentioned it on the show before. A lot of dust, dirt, nastiness. You know, I put a mask on and it's black when I take it off.
Yeah.
So I put it on to not get in my lungs. So
there was no masks.
There's no masks. So
Depot?
I wrapped at the Home Depot. Yeah, I wrapped a T-shirt on my. This is in January. This is before anyone's even freaking out too much about it.
Do you think there was just like a short supply of those masks to begin with?
In Home Depot, there's 2 sections that have. Each section has at least 100 different options. You can buy them in a 100-pack. You can buy them in a 2-pack. They're for contractors, you know.
January, they were all out.
And in January, these shelves were empty. And then February, they were coming back. There was a limit. But the one time I went in there, they were both completely out. But you know, like in the grocery store, you'll be in an aisle and there's like a random thing hanging in the aisle.
Yeah.
That
there was
placed
one?
there. There was 2. And they were expensive. And I would never buy these masks because they were super duper masks. And I bought them, and they're N95s. We all know what an N95 is now.
How much is an N95?
It was like $7 a mask. But usually you buy like a 10-pack for $10. But they're not going to stop the coronavirus. So anyways, we lucked out. We have 2 masks. One of them's black because of me being in this attic. But anyways, I can't judge people for not wearing them because you're not supposed to be wearing them. They're supposed to be for healthcare professionals.
Yeah, for sure.
If you have some given to them, I guess.
You'd be like, here's my asbestos-filled mask.
I have one.
You know, here's some black mold. Do you want the plague?
Yeah.
Anyways, I went to the grocery store, not this past Monday, but the Monday before that, and I spent like $400, which is a lot for us for groceries. And I bought as much food as I possibly could, but I didn't hoard stuff. I just bought a bunch. It wasn't like I'm gonna take all this stuff by any means. I actually left. There was like my kids eat chicken patties, like vegan chicken patties, like all live long day, and I only took 2 packs. And I left like a couple there, even though I wanted to take them all, but I didn't.
It's kind of you.
But anyways, I've been like really trying to make meals that can last, I guess, you know? There's been a lot of, or we haven't yet, but like it's rationed food. I feel like I'm eating a lot less because I'm like, oh shit, this isn't good.
Yeah, I think one thing that I like is, I don't know if it's on purpose, but typically I feel like you make extra because it's something for me to take to work the next day. But
not a lot of extras happening.
Yeah, that's good. Because
it helps your portion size.
Yeah, once it's gone, and I'm not going to go fucking make something else.
Right.
But if it's just sitting there while I'm packing it up, I'm just shoveling it into my mouth while I'm, you know, I'm like, I'm not going to eat that much tomorrow.
So maybe the pandemic's going to be good on our specific health.
I think it's going to be good for a lot of people. I think it's going to help a lot of people. I think we talked about that last time. That changing
their habits?
Yeah, it's changed. You know, we were all caught up in this crazy world.
We were caught up for sure. This definitely is.
I think it's giving everyone a chance to just stop and
I was talking about it.
I
was talking about it with our neighbors today because they were like, someone was like, "Yeah, your kids aren't going to go back to school," and they were kind of like, "I don't know what am I going to do for a teacher?" And they complained to me before, not complained, but just made jokes that like, I didn't realize how hard teaching was but we said this before, teaching your own kids really hard.
Yeah.
But I was like talking about how I think how we interact with our kids are going to change because like I'm a stay-at-home mom. I stay at home. I go places every day, but like my I felt like weekly I would like buy something for my kids because I was like this is going to like be an activity or this is going to be a toy that they're going to do this for like an hour.
It's going to keep busy.
Yeah. I was just constantly like not constantly buying stuff, but it definitely bought a lot of stuff for our kids. But now it's like, wake up in the morning, I'm like, what the fuck are we going to do? We're going to let's paint some rocks.
You definitely painted some rocks today.
But it changes, like, I'm going to do stuff with my kids. It's not going to be money centered. It's not going to be centered around buying something.
Yeah, it can't be. So you have to kind of get creative.
I'm going to hang out with you guys. Let's I could build a track with our son Bob, like, every single day of his life, and he'd be like, this is the greatest.
Oh, his little train track thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So good has come of it, I believe.
You gotta look at the bright side. Because what's the other side is that thousands of people are dying,
Well, yeah,
Like,
you mentioned that I might not have to go back to work. I mean, I might be off as a teacher for March, April, May, June, July, August, more than half the year, and still get paid for it. So it's hard for us to be upset about any of this, but people are losing their jobs. People are actually getting sick. People are actually dying. So it's scary. It's intense. The economy, who knows what's going to happen to it.
There's so many bad things.
People are pointing fingers and blaming.
Including, like I said this before, but think about those kids that aren't going to be in school. And, I taught where Jimmy teaches currently. There's a lot of kids in this district that live in terrible homes.
Yeah.
And now you think about it, like, okay, maybe so-and-so was employed and went out of the house for 8 hours a day. Now so-and-so's pissed because they don't have a job. They're taking their anger out on their kids that are at home, that are bored, that are pissed, that are hungry, that have nothing to do. They have no escape. Like, they can't go to their friend's house. They have to sit in probably a toxic household and just deal, like being they're trapped, and that's just I can't, like, I mean, Corona is so sad, and like people are dying, it's so sad, but like there's so many other reaching effects of this that are so bad.
I think it was like my second or third year that I realized, like, saying, hey, who's excited for Christmas break? Like, there was always a few kids you could see in their face they weren't, and if you asked them about it, they'd be like, nah, I like coming here, like, this is a good place for me.
It's not, I don't get my ass beat constantly when I'm here.
I mean, sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it's just dirty and disgusting, and people just sitting around your house smoking and drinking and being pieces of
drug
garbage.
addicts. There's like, I would say there's a high percentage of drug addicts in all these houses these kids are at, and they're trapped. And you're like
13. What are you gonna do about it?
Nothing. That's the sad. Like, I don't know. Like,
like
I have a ton of empathy. I've obviously talked about for like animals and whatnot, but after I became
humans are cool too.
Humans are cool, but like after I became a mom, like the level of intense emotion I have for like children and their upbringing is like intensified, because it's just like, that's not fucking right. That's not how you treat kids. Like, they're precious. It's bad. It's so. But let's change the subject.
Yeah. Anyways, do what you can for the people around you.
Yeah.
And if everyone's doing that, people are doing that in our community. People are looking out for each other, and even these kids in rough situations, they have good people around them that are looking out for them. But yeah,
they don't. I feel like that was the whole thing I was just.
No, some do. I mean, say.
I think no, it's fine.
They have people looking out for them. If it's not their parents, it's good neighbors, or seems to be a lot of grandparents. I don't know, but they don't want to be home.
Okay.
But I do, and I don't have to work for half a year. But anyways.
Moving on. So today's episode is about myths and theories about the coronavirus. This is like nothing to do. Is this hooked in? What is this?
Oh, it's a charger. Like, we're actually not recording, Lisa.
This has nothing to do with about being vegan. Otherwise,
actually, the end of it kind of wraps up with a
vegan tone.
Yeah, kind of all brings it back around. But yeah, this is more just topical. This is what's going on right now.
Let's talk.
It's hard to talk about anything else.
Throw me the craziest one you got.
Well, the first show that we did, which we're not putting out because we were
remember it.
Too slurry.
I do remember that someone said that the Jews, or no, not the Jews. It was created.
Do you have your theories from that conversation?
Yeah, I have like the thread. I put it out on my like local Facebook thing. I was gonna say that it was created to kill Jews. I don't know, that's what something about Jews.
I don't remember exactly the specifics of that one.
Which is an insane
But that's what the last show was.
idea.
It was just conspiracy theories.
Someone like saying that, like, where did that come from?
Yeah. So I guess, we'll start with origins, I guess. So that was, origins. What everyone was talking about initially. Now there's a lot of conspiracies on, solutions and things like that, which we'll talk about. But really, the actual origin of all this, where did it come from? Who is patient zero? And why is this virus out there? And there really isn't an answer to that yet. They have it reined into China, wet markets.
They haven't?
But no, they don't have patient uno, and they don't know exactly where it came from, what kind of animal, and how it was derived. So there's a lot of theories on that. Well, actually, I mean, the China origin is for real. So we can start talking about China virus.
It's the Chinese virus,
Yes.
Jimmy.
There's been a lot of controversy on the Trump calling it the China virus.
You're going into that already?
Well, I think it's a good introduction because this talks about the biggest conspiracy, I guess, which has caused. This is why Trump is saying China virus.
Okay.
So there's been a lot of.
He's saying Chinese virus.
Chinese virus, not
Yes.
China virus.
Yes, and there's a difference, and I've talked about this with my friend. Is that for some reason China virus? I think in people's head is more the government. And Chinese is the people, and so it's weird because Trump is what he is, but like he says Chinese virus, and then I've heard him say multiple times that like any sort of discrimination against Chinese people is wrong and that they're great people.
Yeah.
But he just needs to somehow make it clear or like differentiate. Like I mean the government, not the people.
Yeah, I mean, he just says
He's mad at the government.
Yeah, he is.
They said.
Well, he's just saying origin when he gets called out on it, but
He's
realistically,
saying it because he's mad.
yeah, he's pissed. So anyway, here's a little history lesson from what I can understand from some research, and I am a historian. Can I call myself that?
No.
If I have like a bachelor's degree in history.
How many you took? One like history 101.
No, my degree is in history.
So is everyone's who's a social studies teacher.
No, most of them are in education.
No, I like mine's.
Yours is at.
Did you get a undergrad in history?
Yeah, no teaching whatsoever.
Who the fuck gets an undergrad in history?
An idiot.
Oh my god.
Don't do that unless you want to be a.
Do you know I have a minor in political science?
Look at you.
Yeah. You didn't know that.
Little sideshow of politics. Anyways, 1952. So during the Korean War, apparently China's involved. They have prisoners of war in Korea, South Korea, because they're supporting North Korea. And halfway through the war, we released 170,000 prisoners of war to go back to China. And China said...
Why would we do that halfway through the war?
I think we were doing well and we didn't need them. And we're not. I don't know that part of it. Okay. But anyways, 170,000 were released. And China, the People's Republic of China said, just come back on your own. And they were
like, no, I don't want to go home.
Yeah, half of them didn't come back. Half of them just didn't come back. Yeah, because People's Republic of China was brand new at this point. They were like 2 or 3 years in. So, a communist Chinese government was something that obviously they didn't want. And they were out, so they didn't go back.
Yeah, the communist government sucks.
Yeah.
Like, so bad, guys. Like, so bad.
I've read that before.
Communism, not cool.
Yeah, I don't know any people in a communist society that are
because they don't have access to communication, bro.
That's why, yeah. We actually work with our Spanish teacher came from Cuba on a raft in the 80s when they let
He's not a fan of communists.
No, and he had a master's degree in Cuba. He was the elite.
Yeah.
He was top rank Cuban, and he still got on a fucking truck.
His name's Jesus.
Tire, Jesus, and floated
my friend,
to
my
Florida.
My friend.
Anyways,
he's the coolest.
So 170,000 people didn't return to China. So China is a PR nightmare for communism. Is they're trying to get
all these people deserted communism.
Yeah.
And China was like, "What the fuck?"
So
guys,
their reaction was to
come
claim,
here. I won't kill you. Come back.
No, to distract the world from this.
That was my Chinese accent.
Oh, it was good. It sounded more, I don't know.
It was like Caribbean.
Whatever it was offensive.
Come here, guys. Come back here. It's okay. It's Russian. Everything I do is Russian. It's fine. Keep going.
Anyways, to divert attention from this, they claim that the U.S. forces were waging biological warfare against China.
Okay.
So we were making their people sick, these POWs sick. They didn't want to go back into this sick environment. It was a complete attention diverter.
Yes.
So eventually, Lavrentiy Beria, this is the head of the Soviet intelligence at the time, has started to admit that the Chinese created false plague regions and were dressing up ordinary burials of germ warfare victims. So they were staging mass burials and stuff, pretending that this was people dying from this plague, essentially, this biological warfare the U.S. released on them. Totally to distract us. So this is 1952. They maintained this, even though we knew it was false. Obviously, we're the U.S. We didn't do it. We know we didn't do it. And they maintained that we had done this until 2013, until 7 years ago. They admitted it, that it was false claims, that we had been ordered to fabricate all this evidence. So
Why did they admit it?
I have no idea, honestly.
Seems like a pretty big piece of the puzzle.
Well, it's 50, 60 years later. New regime, I guess. I don't know. Embarrassing.
Okay,
well, maybe not.
Guys. We
But-
made that up.
So fast forward 2020, this breaks out in China. Everyone knows it started in China. It doesn't really matter where it started. No one's holding anyone accountable. No one's blaming anyone. Well, people
But,
are.
like,
We're going to talk about some of
China.
those conspiracies. But
Oh, no, I'm definitely blaming China.
well, yeah. Well, anyways, initially Trump or anyone was calling it the Chinese virus, not to be offensive. They were just trying to pinpoint where it was. Trump is now, in my personal opinion, saying it to piss them off because he's mad at them because,
They said our military did it, right?
yeah, but get this. I just read this today, so I didn't even have it on our last one. You know how Trump's a big fan of the old Twitter.
Yeah.
A Chinese government spokesman, Lejian Zhao, tweeted, so this is a spokesman for the Chinese government, tweeted, quote, might be U.S. Army who brought this epidemic to Wuhan. Be transparent. Make public your data. U.S. owes us an explanation. Doesn't that sound like a Trump tweet?
I don't follow his tweets.
Oh, man.
I don't do Twitter.
You don't have to follow his Twitter to see every one of his tweets. They're all over the news. But that just sounds like a Trump tweet. Might be U.S. Army who brought this epidemic to Wuhan. Be transparent. Make public your data.
Why?
U.S. owes us an explanation.
Why would he? What do you mean? What are you getting at?
I'm saying, if you want to piss off Donald Trump
Talk like him?
and tweet at him, like...
Was that actually tweeted to him?
Well, no, it was just a tweet from the Chinese government.
So Donald Trump's mad, and he keeps saying Chinese virus.
Yes. Yeah, long story short. But I found it very interesting.
People are so mad about it. You know why people are so mad about it? You know why? Do you want to? No. Do you want to know why?
Yes.
Because they're so bored. Because everyone's home, and everyone's like, I gotta get pissed.
Oh, wait to hear the closer of this if you want to be annoyed by people getting pissed. But no, that's part of it. But I think that is very true, and I think...
No, I mean, I get it why people are like, don't say Chinese. Like, if I was a Chinese American living in America and my president was like, Chinese virus, I'd be like, oh, man, bro.
Yeah.
But, like, if it was like,
well,
this is why I don't understand why Trump's just not more transparent about it. Because I understand that you're mad at China. I think we all are a little mad at China for kind of like dropping the ball a little bit, you know?
Yeah, so I feel like it's almost the inflection. Early on,
and
everyone was saying...
fucking lied about all this shit.
Everyone early on was saying Chinese virus with no ill intention whatsoever. CNN was, MSNBC, Fox News, everybody, wherever you are politically, was saying Chinese virus. And then we start to find out that they were kind of feeding some bullshit. And then Trump gets mad at them, But at that point, we shifted to, it was Wuhan Corona, and then we shifted to full-on Corona, and then we shifted to COVID-19. And then Trump was like, fuck it, Chinese virus.
Right.
Like, in your face, because that's what he does. He's a troll.
He is a troll.
And,
he's 100% a troll.
So he's in everyone's face about it.
But I have no problem changing the name from Chinese virus to Wuhan to Corona to COVID because, like...
Me neither.
Like, people are on the this administration's case for not like taking it seriously. And listen, there's a lot of issues that you can be pissed about, but here's the thing. People's like opinions and perceptions change with more information given to them. And the president of the United States heard some information about the coronavirus. He's not that great in holding his tongue.
No.
And he said he gave his interpretation of the information he had in the beginning. And guess what? He was wrong. And now he knows more information and he's saying other things.
Yeah,
and like the news outlets that are like, oh, this was used as like a hoax and blah, blah, blah. Like, listen, guys, no one really, or I guess most of us really didn't understand this. We didn't have all the facts. We're learning more facts daily.
Yes.
Our opinions are just changing daily.
Mine
Like,
has changed
calm
a few times.
the fuck down about, like, someone saying something insensitive. It's the same thing with, like, you know, changing, like, lingo about something, you know? Like, oh, this word's now insensitive now. Well, I didn't know it was insensitive at the time. Now I know I'm going to stop using that. But you can't get mad at me for something that I don't have a huge grasp on, you know?
Yeah, but I feel like he on purpose was trying to piss people off by saying that. But I also think that he could do himself a big favor.
Oh my God, he could do himself so many favors.
Yeah, by saying, like, I made some bad calls early on.
Yeah.
But
it's not going to do a
thing.
thing.
Whether it's our governor here in Ohio, we're in Ohio, and our governor's going balls to the wall, rightfully so, and it's working.
Is offensive?
Ape shit. No, not ape shit, but...
Did you say that's from, like, throwing shit as an ape?
Yeah, but now I was going to say offensive. That sounds like it's a negative thing. Like, he's going crazy, but in a good way, I think.
Yeah, he's
but anyways,
taking it very serious.
I don't care what you call it, China virus, Kung flu, some people are calling it. Is that a bad one?
I feel like
you're a Kung flu.
I feel like that's not cool.
That one's a little offensive.
That offended me.
I saw your face. Oh, we're on video now. You can, you know.
My
jaw,
I
the heater going. I hope you can't hear that on this.
My jaw, like, let me turn it off.
That's fine. We have directional mics. But you just have to shake it. Oh my gosh. This is pulling the heater as hard as she can.
No, I'm doing it very gently.
At about an 88-degree angle. Anyways, this is a vegan podcast. The one, like, I don't care, Spanish flu, whatever, wasn't from Spain. All these names, whatever. The one thing that is kind of fucked up is swine flu got changed because of fucking pig farmers were pissed.
Didn't like that.
They didn't like that. And fuck them and fuck that. Because food is causing it, and an industry is causing it, and the government changed the name to protect that industry. It's different when we're talking about a culture, you're talking about people, you're talking about human beings. If we're talking about an industry that's slaughtering pigs and eating them, we can still call it the swine flu. And what H1N1 it became?
Oh, yeah.
That's what H1N1 was. But anyways,
H1N1.
Long story short.
Let's talk about some myths. Let's just like talk about some fun myths.
All right. So that was the first boring myth, is that China blamed us for a minute, and they still are. But some crazier one. Well, you had the good ones in your thread.
I can't find it. It was like too long ago.
Too far back. I got one I remember that I don't have in my notes that you said was that, which is terrible. I had this thought tonight when I was talking
5G?
to my friend John. No. This was created to kill off old
the baby
people
boomers.
To save Medicare.
Which is the worst thing I've ever heard.
I don't know if this is true.
What?
Well, one thing I did hear was true, is that there's a 10% death rate reporting out of Italy, which is horrifying.
10%?
10% of people get it, not 10% of the population. 10% of people get it are dying because they have such an old population there. People live pretty long in Italy for some reason, because they're eating pasta instead of meat. They eat their meatballs, maybe. But I don't know if this is true or not, but I was in a conversation today where someone said, you love when you get your facts from somebody who's I don't know if this is true. Said that almost a third of their elderly population has been wiped out. I don't know if that's true, but that's horrifying.
What?
But either way, because their rate is higher than anyone's because of such a high elderly population, and they weren't ready for this. They didn't stop travel. Yeah. They didn't do what we're doing. So that's a theory that's completely untrue, but that the U.S. government, we are in pretty bad shape with Medicare, but we're not that worried about it because we just passed a $2 trillion fucking bailout, which is fine.
It's just, it doesn't even make, it's like, it's all
make
believe.
Thing,
you know?
It's going to give someday, but it's fine. I'm okay with it.
Give. Remember when that used to be an issue? Oh, the debt. Oh, it's so big.
That's
what are we going to do?
I hate.
Now it's like, it's fine.
I hate all of our politicians. No, I don't. But actually, I'm a little bit older than some, but I was in high school when Bill Clinton was president, and he balanced the budget. And it was pretty fucking impressive and amazing, and everybody was working together, and since then, George W. Bush racked up the debt, and then he criticized the debt, and then he ran again and won, and then raised the debt, and then Obama criticized the debt. He won. He raised the debt historically, and then Trump criticizes the debt the whole time, and then now Trump's raising the debt historically, and it's just like nobody cares anymore.
No, it's just fake money. Anyways.
But I don't think we're killing people off to fix that problem.
No.
It's a terrible theory.
Isn't that? Yeah, the baby boomers.
To kill off the boomers. Well, there's a lot of them, but...
Yeah, there was a couple... I can't find my thread, but I know there was one that was like... It was to distract us from... Like, to cause unrest for the election. Which is funny because...
Yeah, that's what I saw shared a lot.
Like, what if, like... It was made to, like, distract us, and we're like, we can't vote Donald Trump again.
Yeah, I mean, so...
Because I could see that happening, because honestly, like, no one gives a shit about the election right now.
Felt the opposite. Yeah, they don't. But people, if you're on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, you've seen this. People were sharing this meme of all the pandemics that we've had, or all the global crises in terms of a virus, have all been on an even year, which is always an election year. It's either
we've had all
presidential
pandemics on an even year.
Not pandemics, but like swine flu and H1N1 and SARS and coronavirus. They're all coming on either a congressional re-election or a presidential election. But my thought is, what is that doing? Who is this helping right now? It's certainly not helping Joe Biden.
No.
It might be helping Trump a little. Bernie, it's not. I mean, like you said, we're not even talking about Bernie and Biden. We didn't even vote here in Ohio. We just said, oh, fuck it. We're just not going to vote. We just skipped our primary.
We postponed it, right?
Yeah, but who's going to be talking? No one's talking about it. Like, have there been primaries since this happened? Have there been any scheduled? They're supposed to be.
I don't know. I avoid the news.
I watch it all day, every day. They're not talking about anything but this. So when it comes to maybe burying something, I don't think this is important or on purpose. But I think a lot of stuff is coming out that people knew was going to hit the media at some point, and they're releasing it now. But I don't think that's why we have this pandemic.
Wait, what?
So let's say you were, what was a couple of the stories? Well, those were buried, but they were related to the thing. A bunch of senators dumped their stocks.
Oh, right.
But that's kind of getting
like a
buried.
theory.
That's not theory. That's true. They did. That's fucked up. That's insider trading, and they should go to jail.
Oh, right. I saw that because someone was like, Martha Stewart did less than this.
Yeah.
Senators dumped their stocks like right before.
Right before this total crash.
That's so fucked up. You guys are so fucked. You guys are the worst.
Oh, Congress, every single bit of it.
Worst.
It's disgusting. The only ones
All of them.
The only ones I like are the younger ones. Anyone under like 35, anyone who's not old enough to be president in Congress, whether you're Dan Crenshaw, hardcore Texan Republican, or you're AOC in New York, super socialist liberal. I like you guys. You're pure, you're clean, you're not a career politician held by your fucking balls to these corporations. And my dad used to say that. He would be like, I'd be like, who are you going to vote for? He's like, I go in every time and I vote for everybody who's not already in Congress. He's like, I don't care what party they are. Get everybody out. But anyways, that's a theory, but things are being buried into the news. Didn't Kenny Rogers die? Did you know this?
I knew. I had like a moment of silence about it.
Oh,
I listened
did?
to that song. Do to the danger zone.
That's Kenny Rogers?
Highway to the danger zone.
It's going to be on YouTube. Don't sing it too well. It'll get put down.
But
but that was like a lot of people didn't know about that. It happened quickly. Anyways, that's not a theory though. But things are coming out that we're not hearing about.
Okay.
And I think this is also a good opportunity to see how much the media drives what we care about.
The dialogue.
Oh, I like that.
The worst.
This one I thought was very interesting, and I hadn't heard till recently. There's a vaccine was made to fix this MAID virus. It was all concocted together.
Oh, for the pharmaceutical companies?
Yeah, and then you release the virus.
Yeah.
And then you have the vaccine. You wait till it kills a ton of people.
Yeah.
And then every government will spend every bit of money on it whatsoever.
I was thinking about that because, like, we were talking about the debt. It's just, like, stupid money, And I was like, someone is going to make a shit ton of money off of this. And it's going to be the pharmaceutical companies.
If they hone something in.
They are, though. They are. And, yeah, they will. And they're just going to get fucking richer and richer and richer.
Yeah, so it's not the worst.
Because you know what I was thinking about? Like, I don't know, like, the molecular, like, makeup of this flu or this virus. But if it's like the flu, we'll all get flu shots. We'll all just get COVID-19, COVID-20 shots, COVID-21. So just like an added, like something shot that like every single person in the world's supposed to get is now going to be marketed and sold and
government supported.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our tax dollars are going to pay for it.
I couldn't believe this, but the 2017-2018 winter flu season had 45 million Americans got the flu.
Okay.
That's insane. And they say that this can be...
We have like 300 million?
327 million. And the spread's probably faster than that.
It spreads like 10 times faster.
Yeah. So a lot of people early on were comparing this to the flu, being like, this is no big deal. This is no big deal. This is no big deal.
I always got
It's
really
nothing
annoyed
like
at those
the flu.
people.
No, for a while I was starting to buy into that. I was like, yeah, actually, what are we doing? Like, why are we freaking out about this? But I didn't know that many people got the flu. I honestly didn't know that. Yeah. And if this is going to have a way higher death rate and spread faster, then that's fucking scary. But I just keep going back and forth to like watching Horrified TV to watching like This Is Not a Big Deal TV.
Who's saying it's not a big deal TV?
We had the lieutenant governor of Texas saying that
he'd go back to work for the 1% chance he'd die.
Well, not go back. He's like, I'm a senior citizen. I'm in the scary portion, but right now, he said what's happening in this country is scary to me more than the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like, we're giving full government control. We're shutting down the whole entire economy. He's saying this could be so detrimental to America that it's not even worth me risking the currently 0.0005% chance of dying. But
I don't think it's 0.00
yeah,
chance.
Well, the easy response to that is the reason it's
3%, 4%.
Well, it's getting to 10% in Italy, but the reason it's such a low percent is because we're doing these things. Yeah. So you have to look at it both ways. And but there are people claiming that
fun things.
What was that one? Oh, that was the vaccine.
Think about more fun things like killing senior citizens.
Well, the big one, which was actually from Tom Cotton. He's an Arkansas Republican senator. He endorsed this idea, quote, "We don't know where it originated. We have to get to the bottom of that. But we also know that just a few miles away from the food market in China is China's only biosafety level 4 super laboratory that researches human infectious diseases. So Wuhan has a laboratory that researches infectious diseases. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people, and they're still claiming this. And again, this is
saying it's bioengineered.
This is a U.S. senator saying this. So it's not like
what? Let's just hold on. Stop. Let's just think about that. Like, what if China and like was it on purpose?
No,
did it let out I think on accident.
Most of the assumptions were like, yeah, someone got it on them in the lab and walked out.
Could you fucking imagine? Like, China? You know?
That's why they would be quick to like...
Oh, and, well, China's gonna do exactly what China did because, like I said before, like, they're a communist country and it's embarrassing. I think it's a little embarrassing for them, you know? That they don't have control over their people enough to... it's like a dirty, thing. Like, you got this from a wet market, a dirty wet market. Like, I think that's embarrassing to the government, and they're like, not us.
Well, yeah.
You did this.
But
if it was a bioengineered thing...
Yeah, it wasn't, though.
That's fucking bonkers,
Let's make that very clear. But it is kind of weird.
How do you know?
I don't. But...
Is it not a coincidence this lab is right next to this quote-unquote wet market?
So for two things.
We don't know.
I can't remember his name. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast, which is almost as popular as ours, but you might have heard of it. He said that his job is literally, he was part of the Center for, it wasn't the CDC, but it was more of like he was an investigator essentially to try to, he's in the lead of the crew government-wise that tries to get to the actual patient one, essentially.
Okay.
And he said he's been studying biological and chemical warfare and
Forever.
for his whole life.
Forever.
And he said there's nothing he could find. And then a professor...
There's nothing... Wait, what? There's nothing...
So there's nothing that indicates this, but more specifically...
Indicates what?
That it was engineered in a lab. This is a quote from Richard Ebright. Might have been the same guy. No, it's a different guy. Professor from Rutgers said that there's absolutely nothing in the genome sequence of this virus that indicates the virus was engineered. There's no way that this didn't come from some kind of
bat
species. Yeah.
Came from a bat.
We're going to close
chicken?
on that. Save the bat thing.
Okay.
But anyways, how do we know? Yeah. What? It's weird that in Wuhan, China, there's a fucking plant. There's a book. I don't know if you heard any of this. A book written in like the early '80s. I didn't include this.
But there's all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but it was about a spread of a pandemic virus that started literally in Wuhan, China.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's like very far off that disease comes from places like a wet market.
Yeah, I'd never heard of Wuhan.
Like that's not. I've never heard of Wuhan before this either.
This is my favorite theory.
What?
Well, actually, one more before we get. This is not a theory. Iran.
Iran.
They recently refused any help from the U.S.
Oh no!
Perpetuating the Chinese claim that this might have come from U.S. soldiers.
No way!
Yeah, so they're perpetuating that myth, which is total horseshit.
Iran.
But they also have you seen like the satellite images of their?
I tried to look them up. So there's
pits?
just like mass graves.
Yeah, and that's not conspiracy theory. These are fucking satellite images. So either they have a ton of people dying or they're planning for it. And then I also read that, they're very...
We're just going to put them in a ditch.
Exactly. And it's troubling for them, essentially, because they're very religious, however you want to...
I would assume ditches aren't Muslim
They're part
approved.
of their... Yeah, so apparently you would typically wash the body and you'd hold a full burial and with family. Like, we would have a funeral in our culture. Mm-hmm. But they're not allowing that. They're just... Because
it's probably like that body is like you might get it from that body, right?
Yeah, exactly. So they're not even washing the body, and they're carrying him right to these graves and throwing them in there, or they're burning them. Some people with money apparently are able to purchase the body. The government's letting them purchase the body so they can hold their own little funeral and wash them and go through the religious practice. So that's just fucking scary. It's crazy that we're even talking about this, but... However true that is in any of these countries, like a 10% in Italy or this going on in Iran, like people are dying in big numbers, like the point where like even like coffin builders are trying to keep up. But anyways, the last crazy theory that I think I have here, which was my favorite, was the anti-vax people
made this.
So we're all hip to anti-vaccination
Jenny
people.
McCarthy.
If you're on the internet, yeah, is she like the godfather of anti-vaxxing?
I think she
not
said
vaccinating
that
your children.
Vaccines made her son have like autism or something.
Did you ever think like you shouldn't vaccinate your kids?
Am I a moron, Jimmy? No.
I mean, before you had kids, but like when this was first being talked about, were you ever like,
no.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, there are like when you have like with Bob, he was like my newborn, like he was just so fresh and pure that you do have to get some stuff like when they first come out, they like put something on their eyes for an infection to make sure like apparently coming out of your vagina is like a rough ride. And so they're like they like prep the baby right after it comes out.
Pretty smooth for me usually.
In and out so fast, I didn't even know it was there. Anyways, but I remember having the thought that it was like, like something else besides like the mother's milk is going to be put into my baby, and kind of getting annoyed with that. Yeah. But then like my brain kicked in, and I was like, no, like that's important.
Yeah,
I mean, do you know what I mean? Like it's just so like. It's just so, like if we were in nature, like it would just be my boob, and that would be it. But we live in like a normal society, and kids in nature, like half of them died, So like vaccines are kind of cool that science came up with. Literally, fucking like start overs with disease. Like disease was like, I'm gonna come and pillage all your people and kill all of you, and then science was like, no, you're not, and then people were like, I still want to die. I don't want to have that.
Well, I don't know. So not that I'm sympathetic to them, and we've vaccinated all of our children, obviously, to all medical requirements, but we talk a lot about the show how much bullshit the government feeds us in terms of what we should eat.
Oh, no, I
and
get
how
that.
uneducated our doctors are on how we should raise our children nutritionally, that it's like, that makes me like second guess stuff. I don't second guess anti-vaxxing, but I can see how
you get to that conclusion.
You can correlate those two things.
Here's where like the difference is that I question like not requirements. I question like stuff that the government tells me to do.
Like mandates.
No, not mandates. What's the word I'm looking for? Like the government is in bed with the dairy industry, and they're like drink milk, and I'm like recommendations, and I'm like, you want me to drink milk because you want me to buy more milk. You want me to be addicted to milk. You want me to drink milk all the time. I'm gonna question that. Or like, here's a painkiller. You should take this OxyContin. It's great. It's not addicting. You should do it. And then it's like, oh, because you want me to be addicted to it forever and keep making you money. But vaccines are kind of different. You get them one time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe it's like a couple rounds of them. But like, are the pharmaceutical companies making a shit ton of money off of vaccines? I don't know. Just like for me, like I'm addicted to one vaccine, and but like you could go down the path of like, well, they put mind altering stuff in those vaccines.
Yes,
it's gonna make you subservient to the government.
And
like
that's
like I'm not that crazy, but I also like I'm gonna question when people tell me to do something. But it just doesn't seem like vaccines are like super profitable, you know? So like, why would I question it?
Well, that makes sense. That's a good explanation.
Unless I think it's a mind-altering thing.
Well, yeah. So I didn't realize that. So I'm thinking of like I'm from the Jenny McCarthy anti-vax era, where this is just going to give my kid autism. Mm-hmm. But today's anti-vaxxers, they're huge conspiracy theorists of just that.
Yeah.
That the government is trying to control us. I didn't think about that. I've never connected those two. I don't pay attention to them.
I am the government. I am the government.
That's how. Lisa, you tell us.
No, but that's how.
We the people. First three letters of the Constitution.
I don't know.
We give them the power. We don't get the power.
I do. I think so. I do think that.
It's true. I do too. I teach it every day. Literally my job. Yeah. And I fucking wholeheartedly believe in it.
You just got so excited. You just get like a little chubby. Like you're so excited right now.
Little softy. So the Californians for Vaccine, which is a major anti-vax Twitter account, I guess, said what is about to unfold over the next few weeks is a test to see how well we have assimilated to the government's lesson in compliance, fear, police state tactics, a test to see how quickly we march in lockstep with the government's dictates, no questions asked, and a test to see how little resistance we offer up to the government's power grabs when made in the name of national security. I get that. That speaks to me a little bit. But I don't feel that way. Okay. But I get
why someone else
it's a little scary. Like I literally every single day teach about the revolution and the anti-federalists and us fighting and dying for hundreds of years to make the greatest, most powerful, most wealthy free nation in the world. And then all of a sudden we're all just like, yep. We can't go outside. You don't have to send a cop. We can't go outside.
Yeah.
But I don't feel that that's happening. But it is a big, if the government was sinister, which I don't think they are.
I think they're sinister. I don't think they can be.
Their own individual financial interests.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
I mean, get rid of them. I mean, I don't care what you think about Donald Trump. When he got elected that night, told me that this is a free fucking country that has nobody controlling who gets elected. Because
it's not what a lot of people heard. A lot of people heard Russia
did it. It was so against everything that was supposed to happen that it told me that like.
Well, talk about
Bernie. It really
Bernie.
Does come down to the people.
But like, how fucked up is just robbing Bernie?
Yeah.
We talked about this. Like,
no, but that's the difference. Is the Democrat Party or the Republican Party are not constitutionally based. They have no rules. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
And they're just taking it away from
Bernie.
Bernie.
So they're railroading Bernie. Yes, again. And last time he bent over and took it in the butt, I hope it isn't this time. I hope something happens where it changes course.
What if he was like, listen, I'm gonna vote for Trump? Like,
if he endorsed Trump,
people would die.
I don't know. I don't know how many primaries we have left. We're through the biggies. They moved California to Super Tuesday. He won that.
Nah, Biden's got it. Let's not even talk about it. Let's move on, but Biden's got it. It's just, I feel really, that's just so fucked up.
Yeah. That's the opposite of what we were just talking about. Democrat Party and the Republican Party are man-made things that are power grabs that have no rules. The U.S. Constitution and the U.S. federal election has rules. Mm-hmm. There's no way that our government is testing our compliance. Every state has different levels of compliance. Every state has different requirements. Every city, like New York, is dealing with it differently than maybe like Toledo, Ohio. Right. Like, there's no way.
Of compliance,
and anti-vax people are crazy.
Anti-vax people are a little crazy. Sorry if you're an anti-vaxxer, but you're crazy. Anyways,
I bet a lot of them are vegans.
Probably, that would make sense.
We're not crazy.
We'll accept you in our cult. You're welcome to be a vegan, but you should get your vaccines, just 100%. And if that offends you, you can tell me about it, like not. At your own time. Anyways, talking about non-compliance, can I just bitch a little bit about how in Ohio, we have a stay-at-home order where, like, we're not supposed to go out, and if you're not essential, you're not supposed to be working. And the number of businesses that are not following that order is really fucking annoying.
And people.
And it's people. So, like, our contractor... Oh, maybe he'll listen. That'd be so funny. Hi, Lacey.
I think he does.
Anyways, his company is staying in, up for business.
Yeah,
alive. I don't know what you
They lay countertops,
which it does not seem essential.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah, a contractor is essential. If you have a fucking burst pipe,
you got to get that fixed.
Your electricity's not working. Your toilet's jammed. Like, that is essential. But
laying countertops,
high-end granite countertops, not just regular like you or me kitchen.
Right.
Like,
well, I thought my kitchen was kind of.
That's a pretty nice countertop, but it's like we're talking high-end shit.
Yeah.
And no, that's not essential right now.
Yeah, and then someone close to this family, but not really in this family, but like very closely tied to this family, but not really in our family. Anyways, their business is enticing people by paying them more.
Yeah, to come in.
Which is like disgusting business ethics.
Yeah, I know it's dangerous out there, and the state and the president and the U.S. and everybody that in the whole entire world is saying, literally, don't do anything that's not completely essential.
Yeah, healthcare, food,
but
provide
you should still
food.
Do it. We'll pay a little extra.
Yes, and what's worse is that it's offices. Like, no one's fucking working in an office right now.
I hope not. Well, I thought no one would be getting countertops either, but apparently they are.
But that just, it's like, not to bitch about this more, because that's the whole fucking podcast is about, but it's just accept it, These businesses, people, everyone, just, you need to accept what's going on.
Yeah.
You need to realize that life is just going to be different. Like DeWine said, we're at war right now. This is war. We're at war, and Trump said it too. We're at war with the virus, and
I think they have to lay harder on that. I think
if you don't stop what you're doing and literally shift your whole life, it's just, you're going to prolong this. And that's what these people don't understand. You're just prolonging it.
I'm not like a doom and gloom, like scare people kind of guy, especially when it comes to the economy, if I was the president. But I think that the one thing that somehow was just like inserted in my brain today, I knew this is bad, and I knew what we were doing was right, and we're following the order very strictly, incredibly carefully. And if we do go somewhere, we have a mask and gloves on, and we're washing.
I don't go anywhere.
We don't go anywhere we don't need to. Yeah.
I get in my car and I drive around the block. That's like my fun activity.
But I think that. I lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
I don't know. It was like really, you were so excited to say it. I was
passionate about it.
You were like, I thought about it earlier.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, totally gone? That's so sad. Sorry.
People not complying to orders, I guess, was... Oh, yeah. I think I saw. Okay, I got it.
Oh, great. Okay.
The possibility of death. I didn't know that flu numbers were so insane.
Okay.
I didn't realize that 45 million people got the flu last year in the United States of America. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't know that 1 out of 5 Americans got H1N1.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. They need to say those numbers. They need to get the TV and be like, listen, every fucking one of you could have this if we don't do something about this. Every 1 out of 5 did. So you know somebody that did. Didn't Connor, my brother-in-law, said he had it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my brother-in-law had it. Like, it's crazy. Everybody had it. Yeah, it's...
I did not.
They kind of look alike. Maybe I'm mixing them up.
It's definitely marriage, not Connor. I don't know if Connor said it in addition to.
But anyways, I don't think... When they say, like, this is a war against an invisible enemy, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like,
no, this is like a battle and a long line of wars that have been happening.
But if you tell, like, they have to say, like, this could be 20, 30, 40, 50% could get this. And things like this 50% do get. Mm-hmm. Like, this, people do get this in high levels. It just doesn't have the effects of this one.
Yeah. I
think they need to say that more. But anyways, it's serious. Fucking take it serious.
We're at war, really, and not to be like a huge damper, but
we're losing it.
No, like, just realize how your actions are affecting other people, and I don't think people realize that, and it's really fucking aggravating. Because I know, like, in our household, we're taking, like we said, every precaution. We're not going anywhere. We're not doing anything. We're staying at home, not going to the store. Like, I went to the store a week and a half ago. I'm not planning on going again. Like, I'm literally doing every single thing I'm supposed to. But it doesn't matter when, someone else doesn't. And then,
Yeah, we're exposed to them.
So it doesn't... It's just, it's happening. Accept it. Your life's going to be different for a while. And then in, like, I don't know, I said like 2.5 months, we're going to start to go back to normal.
Trump says Easter.
Trump is because, you know why? Because what president in history has had to have the entire economy shut down? This is worse than war in terms of the economy. People still went out to, like, restaurants during war.
Yeah, that's why Trump's he's trying to, like, get factories to start making masks and hand sanitizer and stuff. It's like something has to be going right now.
It's gonna be like the New Deal.
That's something scary on the news today that there's been several Amazon plants that have corona people, and it's like you can't shut down Amazon. You can't shut down. That's all we fucking got. Yeah, like, that's how we're surviving. But anyways, those are the theories. But real quick, it's been a long one. We can power through some treatment, fact versus fiction type of things.
I heard if you put a tampon in your butt that's full of vodka, it goes away.
That one was actually confirmed by the CDC.
Or you get really drunk.
Try that. It goes faster too.
Faster?
Yeah.
Let's try it. Let's do it. What do we have to lose? Come on.
I'll watch you try it.
Do you think it's sterile? I mean, like, vodka is probably pretty sterile. Do you think it'll hurt?
Butthole?
Do you think it'd, like, be painful?
Yeah.
Why would it be painful? Oh, wait, vodka. In your butthole.
Yes.
But what's painful about the vodka? I don't have cuts in my butt, Like,
I don't know. Both would hurt, probably.
Okay.
Maybe? No. Yeah, it's your insides.
Yeah, but
vodka hurts when you drink it. Like when it goes into your mouth, it hurts.
Stuff comes out of there bigger than a tampon, though.
Oh my gosh, I don't have time to edit this tomorrow.
Okay, moving on. Sorry.
Guess I do. Wow, we just said just hit me. True or false? Wow, vaccine is available. False.
No, but they're working on it, right?
But there's some close. Yes, they're working on it. They've been giving some medicine to people in New York. It seems to be working. But I'm not even going to say the name of it because apparently someone in Columbus or Ohio was sick and they saw this ingredient and
they gave it to themselves.
Something that they cleaned their fish tank with.
Oh, God.
And it killed them.
I saw in the news that it's a very specific dose of what it is.
Yeah.
And then if you go like, and that there's been deaths because people have given them too much and they've died.
Yeah, don't fuck around with stuff.
Well, like even doctors have given them like too much and they've died.
Yeah.
And the doctor was like, okay, too much. Let's rein it back in for the next one.
This one's interesting, which we're all experiencing probably. If you're being a good steward. True or false? Ordering or buying products shipped from China will make you sick.
Yeah.
Obviously false.
But don't support China anymore. Buy USA as much as you can. We can't do all things China or non-China.
Yeah.
But you can do your best. Like
yeah,
we just bought our son.
I don't think it's okay to. I don't think we shouldn't buy stuff from China, but it is important to support our country.
It's more important to buy things from the United States. I'm not saying don't buy stuff from China. I'm saying buy stuff from the United States.
That's something that's going to change,
we just bought our son a motorized John Deere tractor.
Oh my God.
I'm so excited to give it to him. Like he's going to die. It's like a little mini tractor.
It's like a Power Wheel, yeah.
Yeah, it has a radio on it.
It's like an FM radio, 4x4. But some of those parts are probably.
It was made in the United States. Sorry, that's what we're getting at.
Yeah,
no, I think John Deere is like, he's USA.
Like the battery, like the
oh my God,
circuit board.
Anyways, moving on.
Maybe not, but I mean, obviously that's a whole other conversation. But that's something that we have to consider.
Our reliance on China.
Yeah, antibiotics. We talk about that. I mean, a lot of those go into the animals, but we're completely reliant on that for them.
They're like great Aunt Sue. You know, a lot of those they go into the animals. That's what I hear.
It's 80%.
Yeah,
okay. Antibiotics are fed to cattle and
Move on.
chickens.
Let's talk about.
It's not on here, but shit you get from Amazon, not just from China. Like someone bringing a package to your house. Apparently, Corona does not live. This is a true, not a myth. Does not live great on cardboard.
Got it.
So it's okay, or mail. You're pretty safe with that. It lives the longest on plastics. It lives a little while on like metal surfaces, granite and things like that. Clean it down, but they just discovered they can live for 17 hours on a hard surface.
17 days.
17 days. Sorry, 17 days. Did our child just fall out of bed?
Yeah.
Where is he sleeping? Well, I guess I'm going to have to edit the video. Due to the fact that I might have to edit this video, I think we're just going to end the YouTube one. But if you want to hear the last 5 minutes of the show, it will be on the podcast, which is anywhere you listen to your podcasts.